everyone, and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you two of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now, before we get stuck into that, let's quickly just recap on how our selections performed today. In the end, it wasn't a bad day for us today. We came out with a bit of profit, as our next best of the day, Nakadam, was able to finish in a credible third place in the Borders National at Kelso. He was advertised here on my YouTube channel at 28-1 each way last night, and he stayed around about that price for the majority of the day, and it was only before the last half an hour really that we saw the market support come for him. I think his final SP was 16-1 in the end, but he ran a really good race. I always thought it would probably be a tough ask for him to win the race. He would have required a career best effort. However, I think he ran really well. I think his style of racing as well would have just suited the 4-mile trip today, and clearly that was evident. He's a strong travelling type. He doesn't find a lot for pressure, but what he does do so well is stay, and that's what you needed in that race today at Kelso. You want horses that are proven stayers. He won at Hexham last time over 4 miles. He was carrying a really low racing weight, and even though, yes, he was out the back for the majority of the way, that's the way he has to be ridden, and he was picking off the horses one by one down that home straight, and in the end he was able to get up and claim third place. So a nice bit of profit there, and I hope some of you were able to get on at the 28-1. So yeah, that wasn't a bad selection for us there. The disappointment of the day was definitely the nap over at Punchestown. We did put up Battle Over Doyen in the foggy John Durkin Memorial Chase, a grade 1 there, which was eventually won by Min. However, to be honest, we didn't really see much of the race, did we? Because throughout the whole of the race it was covered in fog, and every time the camera was able to pick them out, I don't know what you guys saw if you watched the race, but I always found the pictures were slightly lagging and couldn't really see what the hell was going on. But from what I did see of Battle Over Doyen, he was just tracking the pace. I think he may have made 1 or 2 errors, which did cost him, but in the end, looking back at it now, I think he probably wouldn't have beaten Min. Min's a little bit of more of a speedier type, and I've seen Ruby Walsh especially as well, if you watch the Road to Cheltenham series, describing about that 2.5 mile discipline, what kind of horse you need and the different types of horses you get in there, because often you get quite a lot of speedier types that do really well in that, and the horses that maybe can stay a little bit further, unless it's like a bog or it's a fastly run race and their stamina comes into play, it can often favour to be with more speedier types, for example like Min, who we know can be an effective tool on his day over 2 miles. So yeah, Battle Over Doyen was the disappointment of the day, but all in all it was a profitable day, as Nakadam was able to claim that decent each way return, and that was able to claw back from some of the losses we incurred yesterday. So hopefully we can build on it now and take that into tomorrow, where, like I said, I've got 2 tips for you tomorrow, and we're actually going to be going back up to Scotland again, which is going to be where my nap is coming from, in the 2:45 at Musselburgh, where I've gone with a horse here called Definite Wisdom for Craig Nicol and Rose Dobbin. Now, you can currently back this horse at the time of recording with Skybet at 8-1, who are offering 4 places on the race. I'm going to recommend an each way selection here. And this horse, Definite Wisdom, is one of the younger horses in the lineup. He's only a 7-year-old, and there's quite a few horses in here now are getting to the twilight years of their career. They're 10, 11 years old, but this lad is still progressing, I think, and still got a bit more to come off his mark. Now, if we go back through some of his form, he was not a bad hurdler. He was obviously racing low grade stuff, but then when he went over fences last year, he really did seem to improve, especially overstaying trips, and he actually won over the course and distance earlier in the year off a mark of 97. Now, he's going to be running off a mark of 100 tomorrow, but I still think that's well within his range, and he's got a bit more to come. Now, he's already had a reappearance run. He finished 7th at Kelso a few weeks ago, where he probably just really needed that, and he ran well for a long way but just faded in the closing stages. But if you look at how he performed last season, he needed his first run, and after he had that run under his belt, he really did take a step forward on his second start last year. He ran a credible race at Wetherby on his chase debut over 3 miles in soft ground. So I'm expecting a better performance tomorrow, and I expect him to strip a lot fitter from that run last time out at Kelso, and returning to a course he's won out before, I think, is a massive plus. Also as well, the soft ground as well is going to be in his favour. He's one of a few horses in the race that's proven on soft ground, so that's another tick in the box. They're going to be applying the visor tomorrow as well, which wasn't on last time at Kelso. I think that's going to help him too. And Rose Dobbin as well. Her yard hasn't been going too badly. She had a winner at Kelso today. She's not been going bad from her small string of stables. She had a close second as well, where she was unlucky, arguably, not to get a double today, So her horses are coming in here with a bit of form under their belt, and I think there's a lot to like about this horse tomorrow, and I think he should be a bit shorter in the betting, and I think he will be. I don't see him drifting out to the price. I think there will be a bit of market support tomorrow, and I think with those younger legs, he's still improving. For him to come on for his last run as well, I think there's a lot in his camp tomorrow, and also as well his course experience I think will be vital. So yeah, for me, he's going to be my nap of the day tomorrow. That's definite wisdom in the 245 at Musselburgh at 8-1, and each way bet there with Skybet, who offer him 4 places. We then wait for the evening action for the next best in the 6-10 at Wolves, and I'm going to go here for Electrical Storm, currently available at 9-4 at the time of recording. That is with Bet365, trained by Saeed bin Saror, and Callum Shepherd is put for the ride tomorrow in the colours of Godolphin. Now, if you look at this horse, yes, he is still a maiden. He's 0 from 7, but they're going to be trying something different tomorrow with this lad. They're going to be stepping him up in trip to a mile, which I think will definitely suit him. Now, if you look at his pedigree, he's got a pedigree to die for. He's by Dubawi, and if you actually look at his pedigree from the dam side, it actually makes him a half-brother to Group 1 winner Ribchester, who you might remember a couple of years ago now won the Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot for Richard Fahey. Was a really effective weapon over a mile, was a class horse on his day. And if you look a little bit further into the dam's pedigree, this lad is from the family of Bangkok, who we saw win a listed race on the all-weather for Andrew Bolden earlier this year, and hasn't been a bad servant for that yard. And also as well, Matterhorn, who was the most winning horse on the all-weather a couple of seasons ago for Mark Johnston, and you remember his career really did go on an upward trajectory. And I think this lad might have a bit of scope to improve tomorrow, because he's going to be, like I said, stepping up in trip to a mile. Now, what we've seen from him so far, he's been doing most of his running at 6 or 7 furlongs, and his last time effort at Kempton was probably arguably one of his career best performances so far. He finished 3rd at Kempton at over 7 furlongs, and that was the first time he'd actually gone around the bend. I think if you actually look at all his runs so far, he'd been going on a stiff, straight track, and I think going around the bend will really suit him tomorrow, which is something I think sometimes people forget about, especially when they look at the flat. But yeah, this lad, like I said, he finished 3rd at Kempton last time out, and the form hasn't worked out too badly, because the second place horse in that race was a horse called El Meto for Hughie Morrison, and that horse went on to win on his next start at Wolverhampton. The winner was a John Gosden horse called Desert Flyer, who went over to Deauville in France a couple of weeks ago, ran in a listed race. Probably can forgive him that effort, it was quite a competitive affair. I actually remember him running that day, because I was actually working at Sky in the production office covering the race in there, and yeah, he didn't quite prove that he was up to that standard, but still I think nevertheless, Electrical Storm does have a few things in his favour tomorrow. Going up in trip, nice pedigree, untapped potential in the all-weather, trained by Saeed bin Saror as well, who's had 3 winners from his last 10 runners, so he's operating at 30% strike rate. Not a bad draw as well towards the inside tomorrow, which should help. If he can get a good handy position, which is this lad's style, I think that will definitely help him. A lot of the races at Wolverhampton, especially as well when I was watching on Saturday, not many horses were coming from the back. You needed to be handy or up there at the pace. So again, another tick in the box. Just think there's a lot to like about his chances tomorrow. His main danger, arguably, is Rhubarb Bikini, but I think Electrical Storm, he might just be able to eke out a little bit more improvement stepping up in trip. So yeah, a 9-4 tomorrow is going to be my next best of the day, and fingers crossed we can end on a high there. So I'll quickly just go then through the 2 tips. In the 245 at Musselburgh, we go with the nap, 8-1 each way, 4 places, Skybet. And then in the 6-10 at Wolverhampton, the next best of the day is Electrical Storm at 9-4, and that is a win-only bet. So yep, they're the 2 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos here on my YouTube channel. Also as well, if you're enjoying them as well, please remember to give us a thumbs up, and if you want to follow me on social media, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a little bit more about myself, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. Links to it in the description box below. So that's all I've got to say. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have a couple of winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.